Both these systems are extremely wasteful and they cause significant environmental problems. If you think about it for a moment, we live in a very small, densely populated country. And as we fill more and more holes in the ground with more and more rubbish, we're rapidly running out of suitable dumping space. There may also be a problem of toxic chemicals leaking into the ground and of harmful gases being produced, although emissions from large incinerators can be even worse, since they're borne on the wind and can cause widespread damage, such as acid rain. So what can we do to remedy this situation? Well, we can substantially reduce the volume of waste by recycling. We can already recycle cans, bottles and paper, and soon we should be able to recycle some sorts of plastics as well. A really positive aspect of recycling is that it saves the Earth's natural resources, and it also saves energy. On the resources front, recycling paper, for example, saves trees. On the energy front, if you take a recycled aluminium can, it actually uses 95% less energy to make than if you make from scratch. To give an example of this, we have some petrol here, and this is the energy equivalent needed to make one ordinary aluminium can. If you took all the cans that we throw away every year in Britain and you place them end to end like this, they'd actually reach the moon. But drinks cans aren't the only thing that you can recycle. We've got a range of different cans: soup cans, oil, polish. All these can be recycled and there's no problem. Can vans like this can be found all over the country in car parks, and often you find them in supermarket car parks. But this one's particularly good because it's next door to a bottle bank and makes your trip doubly energy saving. Here's a bottle with a lid on, and the lid goes back into the can bank into here.
We've had bottle banks for about 9 years now. We asked the public throughout North Tyneside to put the bottles and their jars in to save on waste. We've so far accumulated about 2,000 tonnes of waste glass that otherwise would have gone in the dustbin. So it's good business, really. It's much better to make new glass from old. It saves on litter. The more bottles and jars that we get in the bottle bank, the better, the less litter we'll get on the street. So that's a good thing too.
And is it popular with the public?
Everybody uses the bottle bank, but we need more people using it. Too much glass is wasted. So popular, but not quite popular enough.
Do you think we need more bottle banks?
Well, North Tyneside's quite well off with bottle banks. We've got 9, we'll shortly have 10. There aren't enough areas in Britain supporting the bottle bank programme. It's as much as we would like. So yes, we need more from local authorities, from industry, from commerce, to help get the bottle bank programme going.
Do you have can banks like you have here at all the places where you've got bottle banks?
Not all the places, but we do try to call our bottle bank and Save a Can sites recycling centres. So we do try to get Save a Cans right next door to the bottle banks because it's convenient. For example, if you want to use the bottle bank, you will put the bottle in after you've taken the metal top off, and you'll put the metal top into the Save a Can before you wash and squash your cans and pop them into Save a Can too. So yes, it's handy having them next to each other.
Do you have any other tips? Are there anything that you shouldn't put in the bottle bank, for example?
Oh yes, quite a few things you shouldn't put in the bottle bank. It's called a bottle bank. It's an unfortunate name. It should be a glass bank. People think any sort of bottles. Wrong. We don't want plastic bottles. We get too many plastic bottles. We don't want returnable bottles. If there's money on them, take them back to the shops. We don't want milk bottles, folks. Give them back to the milkman. So yes, we want lots of glass. We don't want returnable, we don't want milk bottles, and we most certainly don't want plastic bottles.
The next challenge for recycling is recycling of plastics. Now, the problem up to now has been that there are so many different types of plastic that makes it very difficult. But one leading supermarket have actually come out and labelled their bottles as PET recyclable. Now, PET is the type of plastic that the bottle's made of. It means that they can identify the type, so they can actually recycle it. And that's the challenge for the plastics industry now. Here's one scheme that makes a business out of recycling. This van comes along and collects newspapers, cardboard and cans, takes away for recycling. Schemes like this aren't that common, and in fact you might well find there's not one in your area. So it's probably worth finding out. Ask your local council, or even set up one yourself.
If you look very carefully at your household usage, you look at the cornflakes package, you look at your newspaper, you look at your Colgate or whatever, your dental packaging, all type of packaging we will collect.
In environmental terms, what sort of things are you saving?
We're saving the trees, a massive amount of energy, certainly a lot of water pollution, and at the end of the day, the total environment we can do to prevent this disaster coming at us, we will do.
I read that we should save paper because it saves the trees, the forests, and they seem to be going at such a rate.
So you felt that was something that you could do?
Yes, it's quite a small token, but if I can, yes.
I save all of it mostly, you know, an odd piece I wrap the peelings in. But mostly, of course, I just get one paper a week and one on a Sunday. So in 3 weeks, that's quite a bit saved up, you know.
We were brought up to be careful. We had plenty, but we were brought up to look after both clothes and everything that we had. If there was any string, we had to take the knots out and put it ready for to use again. If there was a sheet of good brown paper, it had to be folded up and put on a shelf and ready for use.
The public, particularly in Newcastle, are great. There is this great awareness locally, and in the northeast we do lead the country. There are other projects around the country, but as I say, the financial restraints through government intransigence certainly is not helping.
Waste saver vans are a familiar sight in Tyne and Wear. They collect and process 150 tonnes of newspaper a month, as well as 50 tonnes of other paper products, which have to be sorted and graded by hand before they're dispatched to the recycling mills. Cardboard and other packaging collected from supermarkets and other businesses is compressed and baled on the premises. It commands a particularly good price. So what can we do if we don't want to be buried under one enormous great pile of rubbish? Well, we can sort our rubbish into glass and cans and paper and take them off for recycling where there are other facilities. And increasingly all over the country there are. And what are you saving by doing this? Well, you're saving energy and the world's natural resources, and you're helping to keep the country green and pleasant.